Okay, we continue with Reishis Chochma. Um, so now, Shema Yigro Machet, we said it ruins the meter that protects us in Golos. So, one of the many special things about this Sefer is that he explains things al pi Zohar. So we have the not just the his Musar, but we have the Koch of the Zohar, which in itself is Mesugal to Yerushalayim, has brought down Sfarim. We especially need it now as the Golos is getting worse, anti-Semitism is swelling, and with the Koch of the Sefer Azor, Beyiv Kun Galusa Barachamin. Okay. Tell you what, Yiras Shema Yigor Achet, Shapir Shashvi Parshvat. Now, with this, I want to explain the idea of Shema, the fear of Shema Yigrom Achet. That we spoke yesterday that, as Rashbi explained in Parshas Reishis, Yud Beis Amud Aleph, Vizel Shon. These are the words of Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, and the Zayar Amar Rabbi Lazar. This is Lashon Zar, I mean to say. Amar Rabbi Lazar said, Rabbi Lazar, Lo Tzich Nashe Yira B'chol Pikudim. Right, we should never forget, Yira in all of the mitzvahs, right, all of the mitzvahs. Every mitzvah you do should be done with the chilu or with fear and with love. Yira Shemaim should be a sentiment through which you serve Hashem, and you do every single mitzvah with Ava and Yira. And certainly in this mitzvah of love, is that ironically the mitzvah, the Zohar talking about the mitzvah of Ava. You need Yira to cling to Ava, right? So even the mitzvah of Ava Hashem must be accompanied with Yira, right? Echidapka. Right? How does Yira, right, stick, right, to the mitzvah of Ava? You think that the two are contrary. If I'm in Yira, I'm not in Ava. If I'm in Ava, I'm not in Yira. We say that the Yira has to cling to the Ava also. How so? Ava yibesitra chadav koditbar yav utra vitav urka dechaye b'niu mezayne. Right? Indeed, Ava is on the good side, right? You love God, and then God loves you, and then Rebbe Shem gives you wealth, and He gives you all goodness. He gives you arichas yom, and He gives you children. He gives you parnasa. Yira, but then dafka, because you have it so good, because of the koch of ava, that's dafka when you need yira. You have to awaken yira. Lemidchal, you have to be afraid. The lo yigram chol, but it shouldn't be gorem achet. All right, you have Yira to prevent a sin ruining it all. So it's very simple. Yira is the protection of Ava. Yeah, your great Ava between you and Hashem. Sometimes when you're in love mode, you're not in caution mode, and you'll do something to ruin the whole thing. So that's why you need Yira, that there shouldn't be an Avera that ruins the whole thing. But that's why the Pasuk says, the person should always be afraid and not to be paranoid. Right, but to be safe, to be cautious. Begin to all call Yira Baba. That's how you include Yira and Ava. That even though you're in Ava mode, there should be Yira. That you shouldn't do something that will ruin it all. You should never let your guard down. So even though you're in Ava, you don't tend to be in the cautious mode. We know it's Well, never let, even if you're in a state of ahava and Rebbe Shem is responding to ahava, never let your guard down. That's where you're Shema Yigor Machet. And of course, on the other side, God forbid, right? So there's even when you're in ahava and everything's going good for you. You still need Yira to keep your guard up, so you shouldn't slip and lose it all. But certainly, if you're in a state of where there's dinim on you, so like our situation today, the bozos are dancing. They're going to be besimcha, these morons, right? When Am Yisrael is bedina kasha, right? So you need la'atra be Yira, right? You have to. That's definitely when there's dinim on you. The response to dinim is to awaken the midah of Yira as a countermeasure. When you see that there's strong, heavy, hard dinim, on you. Keden yitar yira, then you have to awaken yira. Dafka then for sure. Even by Ava, Kolshkein, when there's dinim, that you have to respond to the mitzias of dinim with yira. You should fear your master like you should. V'lo yakshaliba, and don't be of hard heart, because Rosh is bringing you Yisurim to like break your, because you're just too easygoing with him, right? So he's bringing you on Yisurim to wake you up that, hey, be a serious Jew. Be a serious Jew. So now these bows of Neo Hasidic bow, they're dafka dancing even more and being even more frivolous. God be with him, right? Morons. Anyway, I mean, even if we wouldn't be in the terrible matzav that we're in, it's brainless behavior that empties us out of any substance and of being serious, centered people, centered, grounded people, right? Hashem Yerachim. But sorry, if there's dinim kashim, you respond with yira, not with brain dead kumzitzin. Huh? Jewish style trance parties, right? You have to that shows you have a hardened heart. Rebosha brings it starts to break you and wake you up and make you a serious person, and they just double down on stupid and frivolous, right? Right? There's a right? And this is the real peace. This is desire. Okay, you don't harden your heart. Valduk save. This way, umaksha libara, someone who has a hard heart, he's just not influenced. Yeah, he's not going to be broken by all the yisurin that are and all the tsars on klai. So that person falls bara. Not just bara that'll just continue to do bad, but bahu sitra achrik, he's going to be handed over to the sitra, which is called ra. So all these neo-Hasidic bozo rabbis, quasi-rabbis, fake rabbis, that are being macho people and brain-dead kumzitzin, fight back with simcha, they are mamish being macho. I once told one of these bozos, I don't know, he sleeps at night. He's not worried that loss of love, all the people he was macho are going to, go in front of the Bezin Shema and say, but he led me in this path. I think he sleeps very well at night. Hashem Yerachim. Yishtach Yira this Achdes betrain. Citrus now, it comes out that Yira is in two sides. It's on both sides. You always need Yira Hashem. You always need Yira. Even when you're Ba'ahava, you need Yira to safeguard that you don't let your guard down and do something stupid that'll ruin the whole thing. That's Shema Yigro Machet. But even when it's dinim, that's exactly what the Rebbe wants from you. You're mevatel the dinim by being Yiras Hashem, because that's why he brought the dinim upon you. So Yira is inclusive of both sides, of Ava and Yira, Chesed ended. And your Ava is only a complete Ava if it's accompanied with Yira. You just like be frivolous and mindless and you do these stupid solos in the middle of the circle, you just lose your head, right? That's not Ava. That's not Ava. The Ava Shlema is when it's accompanied with Yira. Right? So now he goes on to just, go deeper into the Zohar, right? Or to explain it more. You don't have to forget Yira, right? Right? Right. As we explained in the earlier prayer, Reishis, then even the word Yira is alluded to in the word Reishis, because Reishis Chochma Yiras Hashem. As a matter of fact, I believe is it in the Zohar that Reishis also is Yira Boshes, right? Right, Yare Boshes, right? Fear and shame, right? That's the beginning of all mitzvahs. Right? So now you shouldn't forget about Yira. Even when you're in Ava, don't forget about Yira. Don't forget about Yira. Right? Yare Boshes, gracious. Yare Boshes. You're being afraid and ashamed to sin it's the baseline. It's the baseline. It's the beginning. It's the Tara. It's the gateway for all mitzvahs, even for the mitzvah of Ava. And the mitzvah of Ava is not b'shleimus without Yira. Right? Okay, so now we go on to other aspects of Yira. Od yesh Yira b'bchina acheres is another aspect of Yira. Vuk, and that is Kashi Achshod, Boris Bachshod, You think about how the Rebbe Shem does you a lot of goodness, a lot more than what you deserve. Like in Baal Chosavav says in Shar Bechina. Think about what God does for you and how much you owe him, because he's doing you a lot more than what he owes you. Right? What God does for you is more than what you could ever earn with all your days. All your days and all your nights, even if you just did good day and night, 24/7, you will never even pay God back for even one of the good things that he does for you. We're going to explain a little this more in Shara Ava, because this aspect of how God does so much for you primarily generates Ava, right? But even Yira should be generated by it. Mashabiro Seinu, as Rabbanim explained, and we do sins. So there's no, if we be good, we still get a lot more than we deserve, but certainly that we, every once in a while, we sin, and HaKadosh still gives us goodness. A person doesn't do a sin, person may do a sin, God forbid, it doesn't lose all his wealth right away. HaKadosh he still lives he still has his health, he still has his wealth, right? But you know what that is? There's no free lunch. You ask, how is it just? How is it just that a person does evil? Well, it's still justice in the sense that, the good that you're getting, that may not be your olam hazeh. That's your olam haba, because you're actually getting the schar of what you've done right in olam hazeh. Right? You're eating up your schusim olam hazeh, v'schuyasav. Hope the page will turn. Mismatim, and your merits get less. K'moshamar Yaakovinu. This is what Yaakov said. Mamsh in the parsha we just read. Parsha is Katol Kol Chassid Kol Emes. I've become small from all the Chassid and all the Emes. Rashi and Rashi explained. It's not to say that Chassid Emes Shasidi Mari. My schusim got less because of all the Chesed and the Emes that you did for me. The Kachani Yor Shema Kishin Tachtani the Sachat Yechet. Right, and therefore that's why I'm legit afraid that after you made this promise, well, I ruined that with a sin, and so let's say if I still got credit, well, I don't have that credit because I lost my schuyot because of all how you paid me for them already. Really, this might cause me to be handed over to Esau. Right? And this is what also the uncle said. Zechirin, Zachvasi, my schusim got less. Katonti is what that my schus got less from all the chasran. Therefore, you should always be afraid. So first, there's like afraid that. So it's like this. Like he's adding another knesh to it because he already mentioned this idea that you should be afraid of God after that you should not be a kafui teva, right? You shouldn't be ungrateful, but there's more than that. Part of not being ungrateful is also realize I got more than I deserve, and I'm really in dire straits now because I don't have any credit with God. So I have to be really afraid that, and I better not do any sins moving forward because I have lost, the credit that I built up because of how I got more than what I deserve. Huh? Bechina Shlish is another aspect. Another aspect, the third aspect of Yira is brought down in the Sifrei and Ha'azinu. Right, it's brought down in the Yalkut, and Koheles, Tov Kuf Ayin Aleph. He says over here in the bubble, regarding whether Hashem is on earth in heaven and you're on earth, therefore keep your words down to a minimum. For God is in heaven. Says the pasuk says, God is heaven, you're on earth. Who doesn't know that? That God is in heaven and people on earth. Rather Shlomo was saying, no, what it means is like this. Right? First of all, being in heaven is something in its own right. Even the weakest person who's in heaven, right, he beats the strongest people. I mean, it's easiest to explain, in our days, give the weakest guy an airplane, and so on the microphone below and destroy them. Right? But that's even true before they had airplanes. Having the strategic position of being the high ground, right? The high ground. Right? The high ground's advantage that the weaker could beat even the greatest warriors. Right? And this is even true even if who's the one on top is weak and the one on the bottom is strong. Let alone if the one on top is also the strong one, the one on the bottom is the weak one. Hashem, this is how you pay him back. I mean, it's just saying a double lashon. Hashem has, Hashem, you should fear him for two reasons. He's got the high ground, and also he is mighty. That's what it means. Right? With this, we can expand. One of the psukim that Don Melch says in Tehillim, Hashem Elyon, nor Hashem is above, awesome. Melech Gadol, it's a great king over the whole earth. Right? So Hashem Elyon is counting two different things. He's Elyon, on high, and Melech Gadol, it's a great king over the whole earth. So the intent in what David Melch is saying, anyone who's above, just being Elyon, is a Maila B'fnei Atzmo, that could give the weak person an advantage over strong. Right? It could be Giborim Biad Chaloshim, as we're about to say, starting tomorrow night. Giborim Biad Chaloshim, just be if the Chalash is Lamala. There's got to be a way we could tie this into Hanukkah, right? Hashem Elyon Naira, Hashem is above and awesome. So you should fear him just for the fact that he's above. He's got the high ground. And aside from that, there's Melech Gadol, there's Be'etzem the Gibor. He's the Melech Gadol HaKolot. So he's Melech Gadol HaKolot because he's Mashgiach. Right, he supervises all the details of the world, and he's called the king because he judges the whole world. Bedin, the world only stands on din. Man is judged every day. Like the Gemara says in Rosh Hashanah, and we'll explain this even more. With Bezras Hashem. Od Bechino Revius, not a fourth aspect of Yira, Biar, Rash Be'el Batikunim. So Rav Shimon Bar Yochai explains in the Tikunei Zayar. Binyan Yira, regarding Yira, Machos Boshes Panim, there's a Yira of being ashamed to sin. Like Chazal said, Mante Yerosa Apnechem Bilti Techato Zuha Busha. Right, having fear on his face, so you shouldn't sin. That's Busha. Busha is an aspect of Yira that you're ashamed to sin. This is Lashon of the Tikunei Zayar, Darat in Rabbi Yiras Hashem, a eighth level in Yiras Hashem. The Mavalei Boshis Parim, they have shame. Mandisei Boshis Anpin, one who has shame. The Lola Mevar Avera, that he's ashamed to do a sin. Dati Liyodo, to do any sin that comes his way. Begin to the Chil Kudro, he's ashamed to sin because he fears God. I'm ashamed to sin. It's not even that I'm afraid of punishment. I know God is awesome and he sees everything. I'm ashamed to sin in front of him. Ki'ilu bei itbare alma. It's like, a person who, he could sin. A sin comes his way. It's got an opportunity. And he says, how can I? I'm ashamed of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's that person has the schus as if he created a world. Why? Begin does. Goes there. Reishis. Yore Boshes, that's what we quoted before, this Tikunei Zar. Reishis, Yore Boshes is a fear, and that fear, because that's in, Reishis is Oisius Yore Boshes, he has fear, the type of fear that leads to Busha, that he won't Busha the sin. Yira in Boshes Kulchad, Yira and Boshes all one. V'amal Kamei, and this is what we say later, it's a mission of us. Boshes panim legan edem, vaz panim legehenem. Right, a person who has busha goes to Gan Eden. A person who has chutzpah, he's not afraid of anybody, and no one breaks him. He goes to Gehenna. Vinin the avrin, and those who transgress. Avera, biarma, they do averas, without any shame, openly, demonstratively, Less than Boshes Ambigujo, they have no shame from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ditmar Bey, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Melokart Kvodo, he's everywhere. How are you not ashamed? He sees you. Ditmar Bey, and it's also Chofis Korah, he chases inside. He knows what you're thinking also. So you can't play innocent. He knows what you're thinking. So he knows what you're doing, he knows what you're thinking. So Roa Kla Bochen, Roa Kla he sees what's in your thoughts, your kishkas. He sees exactly what you're thinking. Va'anava ketira b'til. Now the meter of anava, of being humble, is tied with yira. Hado dechsiv, as it says, ekev anava Hashem. The heel of anava, of humility, is yiras Hashem. As far as Lashon, that masha asta chachma atar l'rosha asa anava ekev l'silyasa shenamar ekev anava yiras Hashem. It says Reishis Chochma Hashem, so the top of Chochma is Yira, and what the top of Chochma is the bottom, the Akev of Anova. What is Be'er Hashem? I said Anova, but also means that since they're connected with Yiras Hashem, you could get to Anova. Begin Shchinta Ilah, the Yiras Hashem, Akev Legabe, because the Shchinta Ilah, which is Bina, which is Yiras Hashem, is the Akev of Anova that, Bina, so Leah. Is what it means that, simply law is bina, right? The ekav, and Shechina law is bina, which is Leah, and Kaidu and Kisvei Ari, Rachel's head. If she starts off at Yaakov's legs, the highest she grows is up to 2/3 of the chest, 2/3 of the way up. And Leah, which is by Yaakov's Kesher Shel Tefillin, she's beside the Kesher Shel Tefillin, and her legs get down to the bottom of the top third of the chest. Kayadua. So that means Ekev Anova Yiras Hashem, because she's the Yira Tata, which is Malchus, which is Rachel. It grows up to the point of where Leah, whose Bina goes down to, and that's what they mean. That means Yira, Yira reaches Shechina Ilah, the higher Shechina, which is Bina, the Shechina Tata, which is Malchus, which is Rachel, Shechina Ilah, which is Leah, and the Yira, which is the Rosh, right? The Rosh of Rachel reaches the Akavayim of Leah. So that's what it means that that's what it means that that Yiras Hashem, which is the Rosh of Rachel, reaches the Ekev of Leah, which is Anova, right? Which is also Shchinta Ilah, Bina, right? This is the Dagar Moshe. That's why Moshe was on of Mod. That's Kayador. Moshe is runs parallel to where Leah is, Kayador, in his Madrega. That's why Moshe said, Reishis Achora, he saw the Kesher Shel Tefillin. We said Leah's, on the other side of Yaakov, from the back of Yaakov, and she's beside the Kesher Shel Tefillin. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu saw. That's why Moshe Rabbeinu had left an earthly wife, which is beside Malchus, and his wife is the Shechina, and that's Leah, as it were. The Madrega of Leah, Shechina Ilah. Right? The bears one of money, else that's why he saw the Kesher Shel Tefillin. And the legs of Leah, which is who runs power to Kesher Tefillin, ends where Rachel's head reaches. We knew Yira Akev Legabe, it's also murmurs in the word Akev, Yaakov. Right? That's a Yira is the Akev of Anova, Ukmur Masisin, so that's why the Master Mishnah set up. Yira Milsazi got Moshe. Yira is very easy for Moshe because Moshe Benu, he's mamish where Yira is like very low madrega for him. He is where by his feet, as it were, is where Yira is. So it's a small thing for him. The fee is high madrega, so Yira Tata is very easy for him. Akal Shalin Yanenu. Right, this is the lashon of the Zohar, which we. Right, which we which we need for our purposes. Okay, we will stop here for today.